Nerd alert! Learning is important, right?
Yes, exactly. What a bunch of nerds.
Nerd alert!
Right.
Marketing Architects.
Hello, and welcome to the Marketing Architects, a research-first podcast dedicated to answering your toughest marketing questions. I'm Elena Jasper. I run the marketing team here at Marketing Architects, and I'm joined by my co-host, Rob DeMars, the Chief Product Architect of Misfits and Machines.
Hello!
Hello, we're back with your weekly Nerd Alert. Every week, I'll take a deep dive into academic marketing research and translate its complex ideas into simple, understandable language for Rob and, of course, for all of you. Are you ready to nerd out, Rob?
Oh, I've got my ticket to Nerdapalooza, and I'm ready to do some stage diving, Elena.
All right, let's do it. As always, we'll link the research we cover in the episode notes. This week, I read a study titled Rituals Enhance Consumption. This is by Kathleen Vose, Yehin Wang, Francesca Gino, and Michael Norton. But before I get into things, Rob, let me ask you this. Do you have any rituals that you only do because they are specifically tied to a brand that you purchased?
Oh, I do. Absolutely.
I know you do. I have one in mind in particular for you.
I've got a great one. The Jeep Wrangler has
exactly.
a very specific ritual. What is it, Elena?
The Jeep Wave and the Rubber Duckies.
The Rubber Ducky are both, both of those are great. But the Rubber Ducky is awesome. If you may or may not know, us Jeep Wrangler owners, we like to duck other Jeeps. You put a little rubber ducky on the door handle of a fellow Wrangler owner, and you start to build your little collection right on top of the dash. And it's a wonderful community inspired ritual.
How often do you receive a duck?
Oh man, I would say at least once a month.
Wow, that's a lot.
Yeah, at least. And I carry a bag of ducks in my Wrangler. I like to duck. It's so fun. You make someone's day. And they come, and there's so many of these. There's a whole industry now in these little rubber duckies because they come in all different kinds of characters and colors, or maybe that already existed. I'm sure the duck people aren't like, we got to make more ducks because of the Wrangler owners. But
that'd be fun though to see as like increases in Jeep Wranglers have gone up of rubber duckies.
There was a great marketing strategy that came out of it it was a company here in Minneapolis that does custom Jeep work. And they were ducking Jeep owners with a special duck that had their logo on it and a little tag saying, hey, check us out for X, Y, and Z. I thought that was a really great way to know your audience. And I didn't want to throw their duck away. Yeah,
that's a great just marketing idea. But yeah, I had a feeling you would say the Jeep Wrangler, like the Jeep Wave, I think is nice. But yeah, the ducking in particular is a great example of this. So this study looks into rituals in advertising, and the researchers, they ran 4 experiments to test this idea. Does performing a small ritual before consuming a product actually make the experience more enjoyable? And let's walk through what they did. In the first experiment, participants were asked to eat a chocolate bar. But before they could do that, some had to perform a ritual. They broke it in half, unwrapped one half, ate it, and then did the same with the second half. Others just ate the chocolate.
To smell it. Do you like to smell the chocolate? I like to crack it and then smell it.
There you go. Rob's got his own little ritual.
Other
people just ate it.
Come on.
What?
Don't you like to smell the chocolate?
I don't. No. But maybe I will. Because the people who did this ritual compared to people who didn't, they actually enjoyed the chocolate more. So Rob, you probably enjoy your chocolate more than the average person because you've got your little ritual. Those people, they savored it for longer. They were even willing to pay more for it just from that little pre-snack routine. Then in the second experiment, they tested whether the effect came from any movement or only ritualized movement. So they had one group do a consistent ritual before eating carrots, and another group just did random gestures and then ate the carrot. I love these. I wish I could run these experiments. How so fun is this? I would wonder if I was on like a TV show if people were asking me to do this
Totally.
stuff. But only the ritual group showed more enjoyment, meaning it's not just about movement, it's about meaningful, repeated, and structured movement. And here's the twist. They also introduced a delay. So if people had to wait after the ritual before eating, their enjoyment went up even more. The delay increased anticipation, which enhanced the whole experience. In another experiment, they looked at personal involvement. So participants either performed a ritual themselves to make lemonade, or they watched someone else do it. The people who did it themselves enjoyed the drink more. Watching didn't cut it. So if you've ever insisted on pouring your own wine, slicing your own cake, you might be onto something. And in the last experiment, they figured out why this all works, and it works because of involvement. Rituals pull us into the moment. They make us more focused, more intrinsically interested, and more aware of what we're about to experience. It's not about mood or magic, it's about attention. And that's the big insight. Rituals make consumption feel special, even if the item is as bland as a carrot. So, Rob, what brands do you think have the best rituals associated with them?
Gosh, one that just was inspired by your chocolate bar example is Oreos. Like, how do you like to eat your Oreo? I wonder if did they have a campaign on that years ago? I don't even remember, but there's just so many different ways, right? You can take it apart. Oreos is a big one for me. I think Starbucks has like 1,000 rituals people have, just in terms of how they like to order their coffee, how they experience the coffee once they receive it. Disney's really good at that too. They have like their whole pin collection stuff that you do when you visit the park. That's kind of a ritual for people. Also a moneymaker for them, obviously. Yeah. Guinness is another one. Guinness has the pour, right? And people like to sit there and watch the foam gather on the Guinness beer.
Yeah, those are all great examples. I know that Oreo, I don't know if I think this counts. They had that like dunk in the dark like thing that went viral during the Super Bowl. Remember, like they lost power or something, and they were thinking about other rituals. I agree with you. All those are great examples. I was also thinking about Guinness, but Coca-Cola, the like share a Coke bottle thing. You could say is some sort of ritual. But yeah, those are all great examples. And I agree with you. Like Starbucks, I know they're trying to get away from these crazy personalized orders, but that is a little bit of a ritual. Like you get your certain drink.
Is there like light beer and belching? Is that like just really grotesque frat boy belching after you chug a beer? That would be a ritual, right? Maybe not a good one.
I don't know. Yeah, maybe. I mean, I guess it would. According to the study, it might work. I'm surprised you didn't mention, Rob, one brand that has very like a distinct unboxing ritual.
I was gonna say I use Apple too much, but yes, Apple has an amazing. I knew you were going there with the unboxing thing. It is a ritual, right? Like they don't even have shrink wrap on their boxes anymore. It's just that elegant, and the box it makes a noise when you
I can hear it.
So for sure.
Yeah, that's a great one. Well, the implications of the study are pretty cool. So rituals, they might help us enjoy food more, drink more mindfully. Maybe they make healthy habits feel more rewarding. But there's this potential in wellness, fitness, and sustainability, anywhere where we might need a little nudge to appreciate the process, not just the outcome. And this even works on carrots. So if rituals could make a carrot more pleasurable, imagine what they could do for brands and categories that people already like. So if you're designing a product, a package, a purchase flow, don't just think about what people get, think about how they get it, because just a little ritual might make the whole thing more meaningful and more memorable. And I love that idea of the next time you're working on a video, a commercial, could you start to establish a little ritual? It's like a distinctive asset. You could have your mnemonic, your color, a mascot, and then a little ritual. Like, why not? Rob GPT, real quick. A ritual is like a drum roll before a big moment. It builds anticipation, heightens emotion, and makes the experience feel worth remembering.
I love this topic. As someone who is maybe a little obsessive compulsive and loves little rituals, trying to think about how you can inject that into your brand experience is really cool.
Yeah, fun for any brand to think about. It makes me wonder how, like, did the ducking thing happen from Jeep themselves, or was it a consumer thing?
My understanding, although you can easily fact check this, it actually started in Canada, and it just went viral on social media. Someone was sharing that they were doing it, and then it took off.
Okay, they got lucky. They had customers create the ritual for them, but you hear brands too about creating their own, so it's definitely doable.
I love a famous one in some ways. I don't know if this is a ritual or not, but how many licks does it take to get to the Tootsie Roll center of a Tootsie Pop? I mean, I love Tootsie Roll. I keep a bag of them in my car. I think they're the best road tripping candy on the planet. And because it's multi-stage, you've got the sucker, you've got the Tootsie Roll in the middle, but how one eats a Tootsie Roll, Tootsie Pop, I think varies. Some people like it to crunch in right away. Some people like to wait. There's ritual there.
No, I think that's a good example. It is hard to think of like rituals. It was hard for me to think of exactly what they are because they could be a lot of different things, right? Like according to the brand, like it's easy to.
Yes.
The easy answer is like the Oreo, take them apart or something. But
right.
Even things like your packaging or what people do after they buy your product, like a lot of different things could be rituals if you make them up.
I think it's interesting. Again, you're right. I don't know if this is a ritual or not, but people open soda cans differently. And do they like to leave their tab up, down, to the side? Like it's just we're creatures of weird habit So yeah, how do we connect that to our brands, people? That's an opportunity.
That's it for this episode of The Marketing Architects. We'd like to thank Taylor De Los Reyes for producing the show. You can connect with us on LinkedIn, and if you like the podcast, please leave us a review. Now go forth and build great marketing.
Marketing Architects.